We'll begin this evening with Michael Byron. Michael Byron was the son of a United States Air Force airman. He attended Punahou High School in Honolulu, Hawaii from 1965 to 1967 and graduated from Airline High School in Louisiana in 1969. Michael participated in basketball and track and golf during his high school career, earning all-district honorable mention in basketball. A veteran of the United States Air Force, serving from 1974 to 1980, Michael participated in the NASA Teacher in Space program. He was the winner of the Reserve Officers Training Corps American Ordnance Association Gold Scholarship Key Award. Wow. I don't know what it is, but it has a long name, so it must have been really good. Michael came to Triton High School in the fall of 1993, where he began serving as the athletic director and freshman English teacher. He worked at Triton until his retirement in the spring of 2017. Michael's 14 years as the athletic director make him the longest tenured athletic director in Triton School Corporation history. During those 14 years, he was able to make many contributions to the school and to our athletic department. Some of those contributions included establishing an athletic handbook, coordinating the painting of the gym and securing the artist to paint the Trojan on the wall, establishing the picture award recognition on the gym halls, and adding championship banners to the gym. Michael initiated the awards cases outside the concession stand, coordinated a reunion for the girls' basketball's first state championship, established a uniform purchase rotation so that all teams would prosper, and secured a $50,000 grant to resurface the track. He also received the IIAAA Junior High Athletic Administrator of the Year in 1996 and served on the IIAAA Board of Directors as the exhibit's chairperson from 2000 to 2002. Since his retirement, Michael has worked part-time at Raccoon Run Golf Course in Warsaw. He enjoys spending time with his two children, Chase, a sophomore at Warsaw Community High School, and Delaney, a seventh grader at Edgewood Middle School. Michael also enjoys playing golf, reading historical books about World War II, and walking at the YMCA during the winter months. Michael's efforts have helped make the Triton Athletic Department very successful. And just as he had hoped, the Trojans have become well known throughout the state of Indiana thanks to his dedication and his commitment. Accepting the award tonight is Mike Byron himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mike Byron.
You know, I really stand up here humbled. It's truly an honor to be selected into the Triton Athletic Hall of Fame. You know, when Mason sent me the itinerary for last night and for tonight, one of the last items said that I had to give an acceptance speech. And I go, man, it's been 10 years since I've stood in front of an English class and talked, or gone to a IIAAA meeting and had to give a lecture or something on sports. I said, what am I going to say? You know, but then right underneath that it said, hey, there's no time limit. So I got all night. I'll get started. You know, I thought about a lot of things, but I think everybody, you know, that receives an award like this would probably wish that their parents could be here. And how proud they would be. But it wasn't so much the pride that I think that my parents would have. It would be seeing that I kind of paid attention to them when I grew up. And I learned a couple valuable lessons. You know, as Mason said, my father was a career Air Force officer, and we moved around the country quite a bit. And his lesson, of course, a lot of times was in military vocabulary, and I picked up on a lot of those. But my father always used to say, I serve those generals that are above me, but I also serve the junior line officers and the non-commissioned officers below me. And yeah, okay, but I really didn't understand. And then after we moved several times, I kept noticing this same gentleman would come with us. And he'd be at the same base, the next base we moved to. And that was my dad's first sergeant. And he kept him around and kept him coming every place that he would go, because that non-commissioned officer, that first sergeant, could keep those junior line officers in line, yet he also could make sure that the non-commissioned officers below him got the job done. And my mother, bless her heart, her lesson was always treat everybody like a 4-star general. And she said, you can learn from everybody, so make sure you pay attention. And the last words were always something that you serve instead of thinking about yourself. Now, I want you to wind the clock back if you can. Some of you aren't this old, but wind it back 24 years from tonight in the month of May. 24 years ago, in the month of May, the Triton School Corporation School Board hired me to be your athletic director. It was like all new jobs. You were excited for the new position, yet you had fears. And you also had some doubts, maybe, of what it was going to be like moving to a new place. But I'd moved all over the world anyway, so I was used to that, so it wasn't too hard. And my fears disappeared and my excitement escalated when I started going to those first sporting events, because I felt liked, I felt welcomed by the community, the staff, and the students. And you'd go out and you see the stands were crowded with a bunch of people, with the students and the community members, and they didn't really care whether you won or you lost. From then on, with the help of lots of other people, the Triton Athletic Department continued to prosper. Went through some trying times when, as a conference in the Northern State Conference, we had to realign basketball games so that we had boys and girls both playing on Friday and Saturday night throughout the year to make it equal. We also went through class sports, which was a very big challenge at times. And I look at all that and I said, yeah, I might have done my job well, but this recognition comes from the work of lots of other people's work. It's from everyone who was at Triton during my 14 years, because one person cannot change or develop a program. You know, over 14 years, I dealt with a lot of coaches, I dealt with a lot of administrators, school board members, and it'd be hard for me to stand up. It would take 3 or 4 hours to talk about each one of them and what they meant to me, because there were so many of them. So I'm going to generalize, I'm going to group groups together and talk about some of the things that they did, and you'll recognize the position that you were in. I'm trying to do it maybe in a semi-alphabetical order so it'll make it easy. I'm going to start with administrators, school board members. During my 14 years, I went through 7 principals and 2 superintendents. Okay? But each one of them supported the teams, supported the coaches, helped the athletic department enhance by new buildings, new fields, and I even had some principals and assistant principals who helped me out every once in a while by going to an away event and said, you can go home tonight. That was nice. Thank you, administrators and school board members. Cafeteria ladies, all good lunches at the cafeteria. I enjoyed all of them all the time. You prepared meals, helped prepare meals for the football teams on Friday when they used to come in after school. You helped with that. We used the wrestling or the cafeteria for a wrestling room, which they still do today, I heard, which, you know, move all the tables out right after lunch so that they can roll out the mats and get ready for practice. But the thing I always want to remember a lot, and there's a coach in here today. We used to love this day. It was called Tater Tot Day. Man, double order of tater tots, and that set us up for the rest of the day for energy, for our practices, and for the activities that night. So we really like you for those days. I don't even know if you can serve them anymore with all these new nutritional things, but Tater Tot Day for us was the best. Coaches, all the coaches that I had under me at Triton ran your programs very well. You developed your teams, you motivated your athletes, you turned in your first and your end of the year material always on time. You set your team rules, you communicated not only with your team but with your team parents in a written and oral, just meeting them for a team meeting. You prepared your fields if necessary. You helped at other team events, and you assisted with IHSA-sponsored events that we had at Triton. Thank you, coaches. Community members, fans, your attendance and support at all events, home and away. What great. I'll never forget, we used to go to some events at some other schools, other small schools, and we took more people to an away event than they had at their home event. Marvelous, unbelievable. Thank you, all the community members and fans, for supporting your athletic programs. Custodians, maintenance personnel. Now, you oversaw all the field preparation, court preparation, you resurfaced the gym floors, you maintained a very clean environment in our locker rooms and on the gym floor at all times, and you were always available at a moment's notice to come fix a microphone that broke down, a clock, or a scoreboard. You were always there to plow the snow for the events that we had snow that day, or for the IHSA tournaments that we hosted and had to get them cleaned off in the morning, cleaned back off again in the evening. Cleaning the floor between the morning contest and the evening contest. We had to clean the floor, clean the bleachers, and get it all ready. And you'd be surprised of how many schools talked to me afterwards or sent reports to the IHSA of how nice our facilities were and how we kept them and how we treated our opponents that came into the gym for the sectionals. And that's why we continue to get those things at Triton, because you are rated that way. And if they don't like what they see from the schools that participate, they'll ask somebody else to do it. So thank you, custodians and maintenance personnel. Secretaries. Secretaries, you are the hub. You are the hub of the school. You're the hub of the athletic department. And everything came through you. You worked together to get things done, no matter when I asked or even how I asked sometimes. You got those letters done, those memos typed. You checked the athletic grades. You completed those IHSA forms. You checked physicals for me. You prepared ticket boxes, counted money, prepared and folded programs. And you also worked at all those IHSA events, taking tickets and every other thing that we could think of for those events. Thank you, secretaries, very much. Student athletes and cheerleaders. Not only did you make the teams, but you put forth the effort to fully develop into an improved person in that sport. And academically, you had to maintain your grades. Not only did you cheer on your teammates, but all the students at Triton would always go to other events and cheer on their fellow students in their sports. And that was something I enjoyed very, very much. And probably one of the most important things for students were those students that served as my student workers in my office. Most of you know how tech savvy I am. Me and my flip phone still today. So you can imagine 10 years ago what it was like, but those students would lay out the programs, do the artwork for the front page of the program that we folded for the IHSA tournaments and things like that. And couldn't have been done without them, because I didn't have the talent to do that. I relied greatly on them, so those students were always greatly appreciated. So I thank all the student athletes and students and the cheerleaders from Triton. Teachers and support staff. You know, you taught the athletes, you prepared them not only for the present day, but for the future. You performed grade checks for coaches. You attended events so you could see your athletes that were in your class participate in those events. And you also worked at the events, taking tickets or collecting money or setting up programs, setting up chairs. Everybody worked together to do that. Thank you, teachers and support staff. Transportation, bus drivers. Not everyone wanted to play us at home. I wish they would have. It would have made the job a lot easier. So our bus drivers always got us to the facility that we were going to play on time and safely. Not only that, but they had to be very flexible because of the weather and other schools might cancel for whatever reason it happened to be. So flexibility in the winter and the spring is always a must for the transportation department. And who could forget those state trips with the bus drivers that we had? Unbelievable. Thank you, transportation and bus drivers. Volunteers, all those who serve as announcers, timers, concession workers, hospitality room setup, tourney events, home events. You know, we were known for the best hospitality room at the IHSA event. Members of the Booster Club, our non-paid volunteer coaches that helped out all the time. Those who donated money and time to build things like dugouts, to rejuvenate our baseball field. Thank you, all those who served as volunteers. Now I'd like to get back a little bit to the first where I talked about some of those life lessons that my parents taught me. Serve those who are above and under you, like a first sergeant. Treat everyone as a 4-star general. Service before self. I was fortunate enough to have moved to a community that serves. Everyone who served and presently serves in one of those positions that I just mentioned are truly the Triton Athletic Department's first sergeants. And I learned so much. From all of you. Every one of you who serves now in one of these positions that I just mentioned are truly the Triton Athletic Department's first sergeants. You really, truly are. Without you, lots of things would have been impossible to accomplish. You know, last night when I got to go to the basketball game, I don't get to come very often to Triton, you know, with my kids now being in school over at Warsaw, and I go watch them, but the painted gym, you know, the Trojan on the wall, the award banners hanging on the walls, and who could forget those state championship trophies? But there's one thing that I'll never forget about the championships, and that's the girls' basketball team, their food bills. I don't know if it was me or some coaches that might be in the building here today that informed them that lobster, Alaska king crab legs, and exotic desserts were better than chicken, burgers, and vanilla ice cream. I can't understand that. You know, it was so nice to see all the new things in the gym, or updated items. You know, I started those banners on the wall, and I noticed Mason's got them even improved since you've moved into a different conference other than the Northern State Conference. And it just showed me that the athletic program is prospering and will continue to prosper, and that comes from all folks like you. You know, I want to thank my kids for attending tonight. They were very young, 2.5 and 6 when I retired. And I now enjoy watching them grow and playing sports. You know, even though I miss the opportunities to serve the students and the staff and the community of Triton. And when I talked to Delaney and I said that we were going to be coming tonight, I said, what do you remember about Triton? And she goes, I remember when they were giving you an award at a basketball game, and we surprised you. And I'm facing this way with Mr. Chittum over here, and then around the corner of the gym comes these 2 kids flying around the corner, and, well, Delaney kind of bit the dust a little bit on the gym floor, and that's what she remembers about Triton. But, you know, when my 4th year into Triton, at the spring awards banquet, I had some special athletes, some athletes that had been freshmen through seniors. And during that 4th year, I honored those athletes with an ace. I told them, you're aces. Because as everybody knows, the ace is the best card. It's the best pilot, and it's the best score in golf. You know, I wish I had an ace for every one of you in here tonight, because all of you are the true aces of this award that's been bestowed upon me this evening. You know, I kind of think I see my mother smiling. And as I look back on the 14 years that I spent as your AD, I'm just an ordinary guy. You all are the extraordinary people that I got to work with, the students, the staff. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the committee for selecting me into the Triton Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you. God bless you all.
Well, Mike set the tone. Mr. Burris, you're going to be next. All right. Well, you know, as I heard Mike talk, I can relate to what he's saying better than anybody else in the room, because he and I share that same job description, and many of the things that he said are true. And so, you know, Mike, I just want to say thank you to you for getting the department in order. When I took over, all I had to do was keep the ball rolling, and I appreciate all that you've done for me and for our athletic department. So congratulations again. Thank you, Mike.